bright and early, getting after it, lads. And hopefully get on some good fish today. Conditions are looking spectacular. So, good option for some lobsters, some crays, some slippers maybe down here. I have seen some pretty big salmon the last few times. Oh yeah, the last few times I've been here. Be nice to get on one of them. I've also got a few ideas for some red rock cod as well. We did go over that in the last video, and it'd be pretty cool to get one of them. I can run you through how I like to find them, and I've been cooking up a bit of a recipe. Something I've been wanting to try with them, so see what we can get.
They're in the rock here. Yeah.
As always, jumping straight in, starting to have a quick look for some crays in little cracks and ledges all through here. And it's also helping to just get the bubbles out of my suit and start warming my lungs up, get them used to all that build up of CO2 and really kick that mammalian dive reflex in. It's kind of hard to get the angle of the camera right in these tiny little holes, but there were a couple little crays right at the back down here. They were just a little too deep for me to grab them out. Venturing out a little wider here, this is exactly the kind of terrain that I'm looking for when I want to find some red rock cod or scorpionfish. There's a nice big rocky wall just here, and right at the bottom there's a big crack that goes real deep to the back, and there's heaps of shadow in there. I find the scorpionfish like to hang out in the shadows there, doing their best to camouflage themselves and look like a rock. And I'm assuming it's so they can ambush anything that's coming by or anything that gets washed off the top of the ledge up there. Unfortunately for me though, no one was home just here, so I decided to put the gun down, get the torch out and start looking for a few crays. And it wasn't long until my mate called out that he'd found a few. Dodging that big bull ray on the way down, I stuck my head into the crack, and once again, unfortunately pretty hard to get the angle on the camera right with these skinny little cracks, but there was a little sand ledge and the crays had gone right behind that down in the back, and it was looking pretty tricky for us to try and get them out of there. We did dive on it a couple more times, and in this clip you can kind of see that little sand ledge I'm talking about back there. Unfortunately those crays had just marched themselves back a little too far for us to try and grab them. I figured surely persistence would pay off here, and I started swimming further and further around the point, continuing to dive on all the caves and cracks I could find. I was particularly interested in big overhangs because what I would love to find is a slipper lobster. These lobsters aren't really available commercially, and personally, and talking to other people I know as well, I reckon they're even sweeter than the eastern rock lobsters that we get commonly. Once again, it wasn't long until my mate was calling out that he'd found some more lobsters. This time the camera angle was a little better. It was a nice big opening, and you can see those crays right down the back there. And this was really the start of what was going to be a common thread throughout the day. There were crays around, but they were just so deep that we couldn't get to them safely. That's a recipe for getting stuck. Continuing to swim around the point, I focused my efforts on all these big caves with overhangs and everything like that. And some of these looked perfect. They had little holes and cracks right at the back where little slipper lobster love to hang out and hide in, and where they can crawl out onto the roof and the sidewalls of those caves. Brown stuff you see covering the rocks here is called conjivoi, and it's something called a sea squirt. It's basically an animal that filter feeds plankton and whatnot, but it also provides shelter and habitat for all sorts of animals, and lobsters love it. And in mixed through it is a warren of caves. And right down the back here, you can see the tail of a lobster. And it wasn't even alone. There was a full nest of them in there, but just so deep and such a tiny little opening that there was no chance of getting that thing out. Round the corner a little further, I'd spotted some more overhangs. Lifting my head up, I found myself face to face with a grey nurse shark. For the most part, they're pretty docile and they'll just hang out near big overhangs, slowly finning into the current. Heading in the other direction, I continued my search through all these big caves and overhangs. I absolutely love this kind of terrain. I get this like weird cathedral feeling with all the light pouring down through little holes in the top, filtering through the water. Heading a little further around the corner, I stumbled across that terrain that's perfect for red rock cod and scorpionfish. Big rock wall with a big crack opening up, nice and shadowy in there. And sure enough, hiding just at the front here was a little red rock cod, or scorpionfish. As these fish are so often tucked into little rocks and caves, I'm a big fan of stabbing them like that. Just got to make sure your flopper does engage on the other side so you don't lose that fish. And of course, these guys are a part of that stonefish, lionfish, scorpionfish family, and those dorsal spines they have do contain a toxin, and I've never been stung, but I have heard that it is extremely painful. Continuing that big swim, I got stuck back into trying to find some lobsters. Plenty of good holes here covered in conjuvoy and little cracks and crevices, all the places that lobsters love to hide and feel safe in. And there was some seriously epic terrain around here. Again, we found these massive bowl cave structures with holes in the roof and all that sunlight pouring in, giving it a really grand feeling, like this holy kind of light coming down. Mate, epic. Turning around at one point, this massive grey nurse shark had snuck up on me. Just gliding around, it was super fat, and there's a good chance that it's actually a pregnant female migrating south. Continuing along, just scanning and cruising the bottom, I looked up to be greeted by this, a giant wall of Australian salmon. I dived down and picked up my gun as calmly as possible while still trying to turn around and keep these salmon within range. When they're swimming fast like this and schooling, it can be so hard to focus on one individual fish, and I rushed the shot and missed it. I knew there was a good chance they'd stick around in the area though, so I dived down slowly, and sure enough, out of the murk, the school came back around. This time I stayed calm and took my time. I focused on one fish and didn't let it leave my sight. And now I had myself a beautifully fat Australian salmon. These fish have an extraordinary amount of blood in them for their size. You've got to make sure you bleed them and ice them as quickly as possible. And it's these steps missing that I think has given them their poor reputation over the years. Personally, I'm a huge fan, and I reckon smoked, grilled and raw, these fish are amazing. Once again, no craze, unfortunately, but I did manage to get 2 of those species, a nice big fat Aussie salmon and a red rocky. So all in all, I'd say pretty successful, bloody big swim, and I am absolutely knackered. So I had to make sure these fish are iced and chilled down. Well, the video was supposed to be about the salmon, but life gets in the way. Can't always have it your way. So we're doing a video on the red rocky today, and there's something I want to try pretty soon, and I've been collecting these guys because there's a little part of them that I want to try something, but I'm going to save exactly what that is for another video. But I've never made Pilpil sauce. Maybe you got a bit of an idea about what Pilpil is kind of used for sometimes, but Pilpil is a sauce, I believe, from the Basque region of Spain. People also say Basque area, but the northern part of Spain, and it basically just uses the fatty, the kind of gelatinous parts of the fish, and you poach it down in some oil, and it's going to all like leach into the oil, and then you emulsify that, and it makes a beautifully rich sauce. So that's what we're going to be doing today, because these red rockies are full of fat and gelatin, and they're super, super tasty. So I'm just going to start by removing the head. It's definitely something you want to get off just to make some more space, break it down, but I think I will use it in the Pilpil, so in the poaching kind of process, because all through it, cheeks, head, bits and bobs, they've all got heaps of gelatin and they're perfect for making that Pilpil. So the wings are also going to be a massive source of gelatin and fat, all sorts of goodness. If you've never had red rocky wings, they are absolutely phenomenal. I do have a recipe where I made some kind of like devil wings with them as well. You deep fry them and everything like that, and a ton of meat on them. And I'd almost liken it to like chicken or something like that. So we've got that head off there, and I reckon we'll just try and split that open down the middle there, something like that. That way we can get maximum surface area on there, you know. Crack him like so. We might even put some cuts in here. You can lay even flatter. Just get rid of that rounding in the cheek there. That head all laid out nice and flat. Let's start getting these wings off. And I was gonna try and keep this whole. I wanna try and keep this area because this little part here, the throaty kind of necky part of the fish has heaps of that gelatin and it's like a weird sort of skin texture, almost like human skin. Whereas the rest of it, which I did scale before, I cut those fins off before I hung it in the fridge just to avoid any kind of moisture building up. I'm gonna take the wings off, quick and easy there. Split those down the middle. And that is gonna be real good for our Pilpil, I reckon. We might even keep that for a bit of prezzo, eh? Give it a little clean up and grab out a little bowl for any scraps. Just get rid of any scrappy stuff that we didn't quite get to before we hung it. Alrighty, head, wings. For this part, couple options. I was considering kind of butterflying it. And you kind of open it up either from the top or the bottom, but I don't know. I got this pan. This is the pan I want to use because it's nice and small. We're not going to need a ton of oil in it. Just going to make life a bit easier. If we open this up, I reckon we can definitely cut that tail off, get rid of that now. It's going to help us as well, but it's going to take up a lot of the pan and I still want to get these guys in there. So let's get that tail off to start with. Trim him up. Can look nice for presentation, but it's not really going to do anything for us outside of that. Now we're left with this beautiful, chunky meat. How are we going to do this then? I reckon keep it simple, stupid, and we're just going to take these fillets off nice and easy. So as you would with any fish, running that knife along the spine, out at the tail, flick, run that knife along the backbone, hearing that nice clicky, clicky sound. Now, red rockies do have a little bit of a different, weird kind of bone structure to some other fish. And we'll just go through those pin bones there. The ribs kind of run a little different. They kind of tuck in and around and all sorts of weird bits and bobs. So we'll have a look at that in 2 seconds. Bit of meat for the dogs. Interestingly, they do actually have these in the Mediterranean, kind of northern Spain region that Pilpil sauce is from. But they call them Scorpina. A little different, but still scorpion fish kind of vibe. We can keep the skin on these fillets, but we're gonna deal with these pin bones and rib bones now. So they do run a little different, but I'm just gonna start off as I would any other fish, just running my knife behind them and then running the knife, the clean knife, back down behind them, following them, sort of pushing the knife out a little bit as I go, just exposing them. You can see them kind of running just through there. And then in an ideal world, we also keep as much of this belly section as possible because it tends to have a lot of fat and gelatin, which is what I kind of want to absorb out of the fish when we poach it in a sec. And there they are. Nice thin little piece, not too much wastage there. Super, super thin little belly section, but see what happens. Should be all right, but sometimes you get a little bit curling. Oh dear, not quite what I wanted. And that kind of stuff with that, which not really super ideal, but it is what it is. The helly. Yeah. If you don't have yourself some of these bad boys, get some. Super cheap, and they're gonna make a huge difference to your fish prep because you can pull those pin bones out. Just like that. Hopefully not too much meat with them, but yeah, getting them out changes the game. You don't have to waste heaps of meat when you slice them out and everything like that, which isn't always the end of the world, but sometimes you want to separate those top loin, the belly loin that are separated by those pin bones anyway, but some fish like this, when you want to keep a whole fillet and there isn't heaps of meat getting around anyway, game changer. So just work my way along, feeling out where those pin bones are, and slowly, oh, sometimes they do snap inside like that, but you can just kind of dig around and pull them out. That's pretty much it. Left with a beautiful chunk of nice meat. I'm gonna do the same for the other side, and then we're gonna get on to the next steps. So that's the fish all broken down, and I did trim off that belly section in the end and a few other little bits just to clean it up. But I'm gonna get this onto a tray and then get prepped for the Pilpil sauce. There's not too much involved, but let's get into it. Traditionally, Pilpil's pretty straightforward. Just a bit of garlic and dried chili. But I don't have any dried chili, so we're just gonna do garlic for today. It's all experimenting, it's all testing. I wanna see how it all works because I got something pretty special planned for the rest of those little rock cod pieces. Pretty straightforward, nice little bowl for our scraps. Always makes life a little bit easier. Just collect it all for the bin later. Essentially just nice slithers of garlic. I don't have to go too crazy on the mince because it's, once again, just infusing the flavor, you know? Really gentle cook with this Pilpil because we want to render out all those fats and gelatin from the fish, almost making like a fish stock, but inside the oil, like a confit kind of setup. So infusion is the name of the game. We've got a bunch of garlic prepped now and it's super simple from here. So let's go to the cooktop. We're just gonna get a bunch of olive oil and we're just gonna fill her up. And I'm gonna chuck this pan on like a medium temp, well, actually a little bit lower. Plenty of olive oil in there, like a quarter temp maybe. And look, this sauce from what I can tell is just about patience. It's just gonna take a while. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Garlic's gonna go into the olive oil and we just wanna confit it basically. Just real low temp, nice and light, get it all aromatic and that. Infusing, lad. So you can see it kind of bubbling away a little bit and you don't wanna let this garlic brown at all. We wanna keep it nice and low. So it's just kind of simmering, doing its thing. Maybe even getting a little too warm there. Take that off. Stay there, buddy. Get that turned off. Hopefully we can cool it down with a bit of this, eh? Just gonna throw that head in. Getting these fillets in I think is gonna be the priority. Even that we're gonna struggle in this tiny pan. Squeeze them in around there. See, a whole lot of squeezing them in here. You curling? Oh dear. It's not quite what I wanted. Need to get a little press on them. Probably still a little warm. Try and just press this fillet flat. And take this dog out for a minute. Well, that's not what I wanted. This is where the old fish weight or protein weight or something would be super handy. How are we gonna fix this, eh? Flip him. Bit of weight, bit of patience, he reckons, eh? No low temps apparently on this cooker. Fucking hell. Over to the other side, they reckon, eh? My days, mate. Ooh, we are starting to get little bits of collagen leaking out. It's hard to see on there, but just starting to get those little fatty white spots. Looking okay. We may have recovered. I don't know if it would have helped to do the fish meat side down first, probably. Just to help like with that curling action, I'd say. See, we're kind of fucking sizzling again. It's not, this cooktop is shocking. No low temps apparently. And I want to get this head in because I reckon that's gonna give us a ton here. And the old collar as well. Wrong pan, dickhead. Oh, well, let's see what that does, eh? I have seen some other people recommend adding a little wine or something just to help the emulsion along and kind of get everything poaching. So let's top it off with a little, see if we can help this along a little. Not super traditional. I'm pretty sure your classic Basque Pilpil is literally just olive oil, garlic and chili, but a bit of wine. Why not? We're experimenting, we're testing. Oh, you can see we're getting all this kind of juicy, collagen-y bits coming out. It is starting to happen. Oh well, first time. Here we go. Can't always win them. Now I see people as well kind of wiggle the pan, but definitely should have went the bigger pan. Oh look, we are getting, look at all that. Look at all that, all in there as well. Boy, heaps professional. Heaps good chef, lad. Chefing it up, you know. Ooh, look at that. Salty. You can smell that wine starting to steam off a bit as well. Mate, I'm not a fan of this cooktop, eh? Just 0 to nothing. 0 to fucking 100. I don't know if I want it bubbling like that. Nothing going on. You touch the little dial a little bit and then everything's happening. I don't like it. Agitated, brother. Agitated. Fuck is going on here? Fucking bugs galore, lad. Get out of my house. Make sure that head's getting good contact. Not really sure. It's getting a bit of cloudiness in there. It's looking, I think that's what we want. It means all the
the juices are coming out of that fish, you know. We're poaching. I think a little bit of bubbling. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. Because look, I'm imagining like a stock or something. You're bubbling, you're kind of simmering, you're kind of drawing the things out. Maybe that's a bit much though. It's kind of boiling at this point. We're not really lightly simmering or something there, are we? Well, you can see all fat bubbles and whatnot. I think that's good. And that means we're going places. Like give this head a little flip, get him face down, ass up, there's wings in there. Simmer, simmer. Wow, we got a ton of fatty little bubbles going on here. It's looking good. So that's been going for a hot minute now. What I reckon, I want to try and, because that skin's going to be a little chewy, I think. So I want to try get a little crisp going on with it, you know? You get me? So I'm going to take these out now. Get rid of that garlic, don't want that to brown. I'm going to turn the heat off. Get this in here as well. Get rid of that garlic as well. Hopefully, all that oil that's on the skin there can get the job done. And we get a nice little crisp on that. In the grill down here. Bit of heat from the top. Top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep another couple little bits quickly while we wait for that. And then we're going to try and make this sauce. And I hope we can make it emulsify. You can see all the fatty bits. It's looking like we might sort of get it. We'll see. So to finish that all off and garnish, what I'm gonna use, just so I got some options. Got some chives, I got some lemon. Just gonna set them up, get them all ready to go. So we can get them all sorted, figure out exactly what we want when we want it. We're out here, we're experimenting, mate. Yeah, not a chef, but I'm gonna see. Try and give some chives a go. They are really the testing ground, aren't they? The fucking, how good are your chives kind of setup. Or not great by the looks of it. That'll do us for now, I reckon. They're not perfect, but they'll do. Get the job done. I can hear that fish sizzling in the grill. Clean them up. Straight on the floor. Give a fuck, man. And what I'm thinking is a bit of lemon zest. Let's get a bit of heat in there. Bit of lemon zest. Gornskis, didn't want it anyway, lad. Zest him up. Oh, yep. Fish is cooking. Off he goes. Get in there, mate. Lemon zested. Well, how about we just do ourselves a wee wedge. Chuck him in there. Lemon. Ooh, we are. What do you reckon? Pretty toasty. How good. Don't want to overcook it. That wouldn't be any good, would it? This is the dish I was thinking. I like it. Not very clean though, is it? We gotta sieve it and we gotta emulsify that sauce. I'm just wondering if it's worth trying to do it in a different bowl first, you know what I mean? So there's our pan. Now, if we do it in something else, if it's not quite working how we want, then we have it out. Do we just send it? Maybe we just send it, huh? See what happens. Risky business. All in, brother. It's not gonna be hot, probably. Just want to agitate this, I reckon. Get it all here, so we're not going to lose any of it, that goodness. Get it all mixing now. Oh, this is, I don't know. Lad, I'm not doing that. Something I can pour out of. Tray would be good. Just worried about this oil being all separate. It's very, like, not in there, isn't it? Maybe I added a bit too much wine or something. Maybe we can just get it started in here. Ooh, sort of going. Another option would probably be an immersion blender. It looks like we're kind of getting there anyway. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's definitely thickening. Bit of work in it, but it's getting there. Well, we committed. We're committed now. Oh, the old arm workout. Tell you what, mate, you would have thought I had plenty of practice at this one, but oh, she's getting the workout. I reckon the immersion blender, definitely strain it, use that for the next one, because this is a lot on the old arm pump. It's doing it, but it's actually doing it. And that will do us, I reckon. Calling it, lad. It's not fully emulsified, but first try, not bad, I reckon. Quick wipe down. Look at that. Look at that. And bit of prezzo on it. Take that head, lay him out. I reckon just cut these fillets in half just so they're a bit more manageable. Little bite-sized pieces, you know. Beautiful white meat. That collar is gonna go straight in there. And we got 1 fillet, 2 fillet. You could dress something over the top, but I was kind of going for like crispy skin on that. So no sauce on the top, but I'm wondering, needs something, doesn't it? Needs something. This is the stressful part because I don't want to ruin it, but I think if we get some lemon going, we might get some nice little, little dots? Maybe not, but why don't we just do a bit of that? Bit of chives, mate. Bit of chives. Bit of lemon. Rind. Something like that. Yes, mate. Pilpil, kind of. Success. Not bad for a first go, I reckon. The old Scorpina. Just brush them on the floor. That'll do. Wow. Well, I just stopped to take some photos and that sauce is already starting to split. So the old Pilpil needs a bit of work. But for a first go, super happy with it. Because we did kind of get it going. Few ideas, few things to change. Because the recipe I've got coming up next is going to be a bit more technical. And there's a bit more on the line. Because I have been preparing for it for definitely months. Maybe years even. But a bit more on the line for that one. So that's it. Wow. Oh, missed the bone. Super garlicky. Fish ended up a little bit dry. But it has been hanging for 6 days in the fridge. So I would wonder if that had something to do with it because it's definitely lost a lot of moisture. And I wonder if the sauce would actually be better if it was fresher because losing that moisture, it's gonna sort of struggle maybe to kind of leach out, I don't know what the word would, render out, leach out into the garlic, into the olive oil, I mean. So who knows, But good experimentation, I say. Good testing. Can't win it all. I can't wait to be perfect, mate. It's definitely splitting. But let's see. Where's my strainer? Give it a little, get it going again. Thicking the dog up. I mean, that's definitely thickening. Oh, when you get that all thickened up, garlicky, oily, winey. Yeah, I gotta look into the wine part. If you got any thoughts on the wine part, I'm keen to hear them because some people say do it, some people say don't. Who knows, mate? Who knows? But when it is nice and thick, ooh-wee. But yeah, I have seen some people say you can even make stock. You can kind of cheat and make a stock and then infuse that with the oil and hit it with the immersion blender and then piece. So easy. So yeah, mate. Keen for the next one.